Hello, this is Steve from Beaute's Leatherworks, and today's project is this cute little bag. Now, it's not a very high-end bag, okay? It's fairly inexpensive, but the customer really likes the style of the bag. But unfortunately, the manufacturer has used some very cheap material, which I don't even think it's leather. It's got a vinyl coating on it that's just peeling. Now the bag itself it looks very new. I think it's just been sitting around for a little while, and the kind of the surface is just kind of delaminating, and unfortunately it's just not. She just doesn't like it that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to disassemble the whole bag. Every surface that has this shiny material, we're going to replace it with leather. The size of the zipper, the bottom side corners, handles, handle posts, side tabs, the front zipper tab. I think that's about it. So we're going to replace it with this leather here. This is basically an oil tanned matte finish. This is what vintage Coach bags were made of. It's a very, very durable leather. I think it'll look real nice once it gets done. Now we charge $6.50 for this bag, for this job, I should say. You know, this is a lot of work that's going to be involved with this, and I think that $6.50 is pretty reasonable for what I have to do to it. Once it gets done, though, I think it'll be very good shape. I think it'll be durable enough for many years of wear, and she'll keep it for a long time and enjoy it. All right, let's get started. Now, I may be here physically, but mentally, I'm maybe, I don't know, 70%. Well, we got to start somewhere. And this assembly is always my favorite. Take things apart. This is a cool bag. Got cool patterns on it. I just hope some of these feet, some of these studs here, I hope they're screwed on. They're riveted. Might not be able to use it. Guess we'll find out once we take it apart. Trigger time. I'm trying to laugh, guys. And I will eventually. There she be. All right, let's take a look real quick to see if we can. If we can figure out if this got a. Of course, now it doesn't want to come loose. Like 30 stitches on the damn thing. Damn it. Well, the feet I can reuse. But those little Those little handle things are studs. I'm afraid I might have to break it off to take it off. So once it's broken, you can't reuse it again. Anyway, I'll figure something out. All right, let's continue. This is the interior of the bag. Reinforced nylon for the handle posts, even for the corners of the pockets right there. That pocket there. This is vinyl, just to give it some structural support on the bottom. Not really support, maybe just shape. I mean, it's not a bad bag. The zipper's in pretty good quality. This is leather here. Hardware's pretty cool. It's a magnet closure. Isn't that cool? Overall, it's not a bad bag. It's a lamb bag, L-A-M-B. Made in China, PVC and leather. All right, let's continue. All right, everything's disassembled. Basically, these are the pieces that we're going to duplicate. And we're going to use these as patterns to cut some leather pieces and then start stitching everything up together. I'm going to save this piece last, so I don't want to take it apart and lose it somewhere. All right, let's continue. All right, so let me show you guys a little something. This is the handle post, right? It is basically here, like that. Now, when you have a piece of leather and you fold it over, you'll still see the rough side, the back of the leather. Well, with this, both sides are shiny, right? So we're going to have to cut another piece like that, fold it over, so the finished will look like what it was. So this is very thick now. We're going to have to thin skive this piece down, skive the end of this one, and glue it together. And this is just kind of rough trimmed. Once we glue it, we'll sand the edges, make it look nice and round. So when it gets done, it'll look like it's supposed to. All right, let's continue. This is a bell skiver. Basically what it does, it skives the leather to go from that to that. So we want the edges to be a little bit thinner so it'll work better. You can adjust it. make it as thin as paper if you like. Depends on what you're doing. All right, let's continue. We've got the handle bases made. Now, that is basically just the nylon reinforcement to give it some structural support. So it's coming along slowly. Slowly but surely. All right, let's continue. This is the piping that we're replacing. Now the manufacturer has, if I can open this, yeah, I got an open one. This is not very durable. It's plastic. Over time it does break. What I replace it with is a weed whacker line. Yep, it's a weed whacker, you know, cutting the grass. Now, this is very durable. Should last for many years to come. It's not gonna crack, and you're not gonna have any issues with it. Now the ends, like wherever you start and you finish, for example, like you know, if the piping is all the way around, you start from the bottom and you go up and you come back. The joint, this is kind of tough to keep it together. So you put a little heat there and you melt it together like that, and you hold it for a second until it cools off. And you could put tape around it to keep them together, and then you stitch it. You won't really tell where the beginning and the end was. Kind of a little tricky to do, but once it gets done, it'll look good. All right. Let's continue. So we're going to do the piping stitching now. These 2 feet, we're going to remove and put the piping foot on. If you notice, get this light out of the way a little bit. See, it's got a little bit of a groove in there. So the piping sits in there perfectly. So you don't make a mistake. I mean, I make mistakes still, but this helps out. It's just a matter of just tightening one screw per foot. And she is in there. Put these aside. When we get done with the piping, we'll put these back. Oh, this one doesn't have. See, this had 2 feet, like a U shape, right? So I cut one of them off, so when I'm stitching it, I can see where I'm stitching. Also, there's a hole right here. Let's see if you can see that. All right, where the thread and needle goes through. Now this was just a hole, but I sanded the edge of that foot, so it's a lot easier for when I'm putting new thread on. I don't have to go through the hole, come out from the bottom. Just got a little crack on the side where the thread can go in and out very easily. Let's continue. Will you put some kind of post-it or sticker on there just so, because he may come back 3 weeks and go, it's not too bad. I know it's not the original, but at least it's something better than nothing. All right, let's continue. All right, so we're at the final leg of this bag repair. So basically, this is just a binding that covers all the edges. Now, manufacturers have an attachment where they put it in the edge and they stitch it. It's nice and even from top and bottom. That I do not have, so what we did was we glued it in, and now we're just going to go ahead and stitch it together. Alright, we are getting there. So now we get to do the handles. And once the handles are done, clean up, condition. This is just the reinforcement material there so it doesn't stretch out of shape. This is the original tube that came in. We're going to reuse it. And once it's on there, we'll go ahead and stitch it, cut the edges, and we are almost getting there. Let's continue. All right, welcome back. We are done with another project. Didn't turn out too bad. Now, unfortunately, that's about the only thing I couldn't do. I couldn't salvage those. Actually, I salvaged 7 of them. 1 of them broke. So I was like, man, you know. Then after I did this, I'm like, maybe I should have just used 1 instead of having it 2 rivets like that. Then I could have put the original one, just 4 of them instead of 8 of them. But hindsight, you know, just anyway. I think it turned out pretty good. Now I was going to get a customer reaction, but she said she was camera shy, so we're not going to get a customer reaction. But maybe she can add on to the comment section what she thinks of it, and hopefully she'll like it. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I know this video is not my usual self. I will get back to it, I promise. Give me some time. I need to just kind of adjust my mental state, and I'll be back soon. All right. Again, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Leave some comments. Subscribe if you haven't. Give me a thumbs up. Greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on the next project. Take care.